Hey, what's up, everybody? This is episode whatever, because I don't remember.
1 million.
This is Snailmate.
Hi.
With a Plastic Windows band, played with them last night over at the Booby Trap. It's the second time we've played with them there. If you have not ever heard their stuff, you fucking need to, because it will blow your mind. But I really wanted to get a chance to bring them in here and just talk to them about their stuff. And I've been holding back as much as possible every question that I had so that we could do it all in front of the camera.
And now he forgot all of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, you're right. I have forgotten pretty much all of them. How did it start?
Well, my mom and my dad met, and they fell in love.
And when two people love each
And
other
yes,
very much,
probably in the back of a car or something. I don't know. I didn't ask.
I hope it was Barry. I hope it was Barry White. I really do.
Ariel was in a band called
Sister Lip. Oh, yeah.
And they played at the bar that I worked at called Long Wong's, and I was a bartender there, and they came in and played a show, and they brought a bunch of people, and they were playing.
And money signs went off.
Yeah, like my eyes went cha-ching, and I called my cousin Vinny, and I said, I got the sound you've been looking for. And so then I approached Ariel after the gig, and I offered them to play my New Year's show, which they did, and brought more people and made me more money. And then I was working every Monday night at this bar, and
he was in charge.
I was in charge of booking the music as well.
Okay.
And so I said, not only do I hate booking bands, but I hate not making money, which I was doing both of. And so I asked Ariel if Sister Lip wanted to play every Monday night, and they did. And Ariel booked every Monday night from then on out.
For 2 years.
2 years.
I booked every Monday. And then my band went on a 3-month tour.
It didn't make me that much money.
It wasn't even that. It was fine.
Nah.
We went on a 3-month tour, came home, and they were like, we don't want to do this anymore. So they were like, we want to be a local band. And I was like, that's cool. I don't want that. So I'm going to step out.
Do the others at all? Any tattoos of
we have this Friday the 13th matching one, the rest of the band.
Nice.
But this one is specific to the actual band. So I was like, okay, I'll be in the band as a local band, but I'm going to start a project that's going to tour and stuff like that. So then they just replaced me. Even though I booked every show they ever played. I was like 2. We're all still friends. But so they ended up breaking up. We started this project because his band was breaking up at the same time. He was a rapper with a DJ. So then he's like, I want to be in a band with you. He's like, well, I love your rapping, but like you need to learn how to play an instrument that I'm not drumming to tracks. So he learned how to play keyboards for this band. And my other band had a tour booked that was like 2 weeks. So we were like, let's throw 6 songs together, go on this tour so I don't lose the contacts. So we threw 6 songs together and went on tour, and then we've been on tour ever since.
Question. I see the face.
Did you play any keys before?
No.
That's crazy.
I started learning for this band 3.5 years ago.
How did that blows my mind. How did you go about doing that?
I yelled at him.
He needed it.
Yeah, no, I do. I still do. I bought a cheap synthesizer, and I would mess around and make sounds that I like, and then I play them until I figure out like a pattern or like a riff that I like, and then I played it, and then Ariel, I was like, this is the one, and then she drummed to it, and then I'd sit there and I'd force myself to rap while playing it, and then so it's every song is like that building process of writing the riff, getting good at the instrumental part, and then basically relearning the song by doing vocals over it and training my brain to rap in one pattern and then play the keys in another. But it's all visual. I don't know. There's no theory behind like what I'm playing. It's just like
He doesn't know any of the notes.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's just pattern recognition.
That's fucking awesome.
A couple of people have like offered like, oh, you should do this or get lessons or whatever, and I'm like, don't touch him.
No lessons.
Yeah.
No, I want to learn.
You'll ruin him. The spontaneity of not knowing what you're doing almost makes it better.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
There's no music theory behind it. I don't have any sort of training or anything.
And the other thing too is like, you know, people watching this haven't listened to you yet, maybe, but they should. Like, your stuff doesn't all sound the same, so it's not like you're stuck in the hole that some people get stuck in of like they don't know anything, so it all kind of sounds the same. Like, you guys don't you don't have that problem.
No, thank you.
And another part of that is like you're more trained.
Yes, I did like drumline and all that.
Yeah, and you
stuff.
went to art school.
Yeah, yes.
Was it music based?
Yeah, Arizona Conservatory for the Arts.
What?
Yeah, 6th through 12th
Blue
grade.
Jays.
I don't even think we had. I think our thing, what is that called? A mascot was a gnome. No one really did that. What am I saying?
This is the newest member of their band.
They're actually in the band. They do the pedals. So I had drumline and drum class and all that stuff, and I would purposely get kicked out of my other classes to go to the drum room for the other drum classes.
That's awesome.
I kind of lack in the academics in life, but I think
you and I are a lot alike.
I think that's okay. Yeah.
I failed seventh grade. I never did any of my homework. I played music and hung out in the choral room all the time. So
Nice.
I understand.
Yeah. So it's good. He helps me with my grammar. And
Yeah. I dropped out of school in sophomore year and played music, so
nice.
I understand. Okay. A lot of the questions that I've had are starting to come back to me, but they're going to sound completely out of place in conversation. One of the things I'm curious about, you do a lot of screamy vocal stuff behind what he's doing. At what point did that start?
We'd probably been together 6 months.
Yeah, we. If you can find our first EP, there's only one point on that whole EP where Ariel screams, and it was it was like a joke. I was doing this like heavy. We transitioned into this like really heavy metal breakdown, and I'm screaming. And at practice, Ariel did a scream, and I was like, "Hey, that's really good."
Did you ever do any vocal stuff before?
Not in bands, but when I was in like middle school and stuff, I watched all this how to scream on YouTube stuff.
Yeah, so
scared
I've
my
done that,
parents.
and I still suck horribly.
Yeah, so she apparently got really good.
Yeah.
And nobody knew.
YouTube.
And so yeah, they were like, oh, "I'm gonna scream here," and I was like, "That's really good." Like, no, no. I'm like, "No, you have to do this more. It's really good." And so
he basically forced me.
I've been forcing more screaming out of Ariel.
Yeah, and singing.
What a sentence.
Yes.
What a sentence.
I make Ariel scream constantly as much as I can.
And sing.
And that was weird for Ariel to do those two. That was a new skill that she had to learn.
Yeah.
So musical background wise, give me like 5 of your favorite bands of all time, whether or not you still listen to them and have your like 5 bands that you're like, oh, they definitely influenced me. I love them.
Beck, Primus, Clutch. They Might Be Giants, and I'm gonna say Monster Magnet.
Okay, so what about you?
Me, that influenced me in like what I do. I guess I'd have to say A Day to Remember. I don't really listen to them anymore, but that's where that's why I like screaming.
You have to justify.
I do. Amy Winehouse. Please don't really be dead. Taylor Swift. Neon Trees. Drake. But Drake didn't influence me into making music. I would say Victorian Halls. They're a smaller band. But I used to go rage at their shows. They're from like Pennsylvania or something.
What are you? Okay, so you guys are. I was asking them last night because they're on this tour that's like 7 months long right now, and I was asking how many miles they have. They just bought the vehicle that they're touring with right now, and it has like 35,000. Is that what you said now?
Yeah, 36,000 now. We bought it with 20.
So what have you guys been listening to?
A lot.
It depends. Like,
do you both know the words to an album right now that you've been listening to so much in the
Yeah.
band that you both know it?
The new Arctic Monkeys album.
oh god, the new one's really good.
I don't think I've heard any
Oh.
of it.
It's really
It's
good.
so good.
It's weird. It's very weird.
It's really weird.
I will check it out later.
I love it.
Like, do either of you do any metal? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, depending. Like,
Really?
depending
She's
on.
allergic to herself. She's
Right.
trying to get some.
She needs the pills.
She's like, oh, cats, man.
I know. Make my eyes water. Depending on the situation, like if it's late at night and we have to drive overnight, I'll put on some like Monster Magnet, because I know all the words and I kind of scream to it, or like some like if I listen to metal, like I'll put on like some Meshuggah, something like that, real like kind of heavy, just
We
something
love
I can.
Meshuggah at work.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
yeah.
fuck yeah.
We jam on the Primus.
Primus a lot.
I've been making a playlist with all our favorite bands we played with around the country, so that's fun.
There's not a whole lot of
I'm glad
overlap.
that my band doesn't have anything out, so you don't have to listen to it. I'm just kidding.
There's not a whole lot of overlap between what Ariel and I choose to listen to.
That doesn't surprise me, but the fact that you guys come together and do what you do, I mean, how did you develop your style? As far as your rapping goes,
Oh, my rapping has been
I
developing.
hate even calling it rapping.
I know.
Because it's so...
I'm a rapper.
It's just so... It's like... It's just really unique.
Thank you.
A lot of times it's less like rapping and more like talking lyrics really fast. Like,
right, and then that's come a long way. I've been making music by myself since I was 15, which has been over half of my life. I've been making pretty much like writing songs for myself and and so my voice has developed a lot as time has gone by, and I'm still figuring out like if you listen to our first releases and then our newest releases, like I'm still building character in my voice, and it's still like a comfortable thing. And now that I have to play keyboards at the same time, I'm finally getting comfortable enough to dance and move as I deliver lyrics.
I love watching you.
And that when we first started, I'm like,
People who see this, like, thankfully, we do videos, so you can see what he looks like a little bit when he plays. But like, you like go into the zone when you play. Like it's like a light switch goes, and you're like, ha, time to melt some brains.
and even that I feel is a fairly recent thing. Like I've always, like when we first started, especially, like I was so focused on not fucking up playing the keyboards that it was like I felt like a kid at a recital,
That's the way I am when I drum still. So I understand.
And so I'm still getting comfortable with that. But so yeah, that I started rapping or doing like the kind of vocal delivery that I have because I realized very early on that I do not have a good singing voice. So instead of carrying out words and singing them, I was like, I'm just going to cram as many as I can into a sentence so it's more like a spoken thing.
That's
Are
why I
you
started
aware
screaming.
Are you aware of Mac Lethal?
Mm-hmm. I'm aware of him.
You should listen to the Congratulations album if you never have.
Oh, yeah.
Because most people know him as the guy who rapped Making Pancakes.
Oh, yeah, he's very good at rapping quickly.
But he's also just a good rapper.
Yeah.
His Congratulations album is, like, I don't listen to very much rap. I hate most of it.
Uh-huh.
And his Congratulations album, like, fucks me up. It's so good. Yeah. Someday I hope to meet him. It's like, yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
And he's Kansas City, so he's, like, local to us.
Hometown
Oh,
boy.
wow.
Yeah.
And my voice usually isn't as nasally. I'm allergic to cats.
And he's been doing nothing but petting this cat right here. So
Can't stay away.
come here. She's like, what?
Yeah, so and then as far as the music goes, I listen to a lot of like stoner rock and riff rock and doom metal. So it was about that riff, like dun, 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 and like that repetition of the riff. And so that's when I first got my first synthesizer. I cranked up the distortion and like a really nasty saw wave.
Oh, I
So it was-
love your sounds.
Yeah, so it's that heavy like dun 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 dun. Like the riff that it repeats, so that's what I started building when we first started making music. Was I don't want to just hold out notes or arpeggios or chords
Or loops.
So
drum to loops.
I want to be drumming or rapping to something that's like moving and like has like a repetitive like chug to it. So that's how I started writing on the keyboard, because I didn't know how to play electric guitar, and so that's kind of the approach I take, is that like kind of Sabbathy like riff,
Yeah.
and then rapping over that.
And how long have you played drums?
9 years.
What made you want to start playing drums?
Well, I always wanted to play them since tiny. I even hit on pots and pans and like all that stuff. And then I'd be like, I want a drum set, I want a drum set. My parents would give me a guitar, and I'm like, no, I want a drum set. And then they'd buy me like a piano. I'm like, no, I want a drum set. And I'm like, I don't want any of this stuff. I don't want a guitar. I don't care. I just want a drum set. And then when I was 16, I had guinea pigs, and my mom's like, if you find a home for the guinea pigs, you can go buy a drum set right now with your own money. So I found a safe home for my guinea pigs.
The trash.
No, they are fine. I did not. I got them a safe home. And then I went on Craigslist and bought my first drum set. Little pearl thing. Cheap.
Pearl Export or something.
Yes, that's what it was. Pearl Export. Black. Shitty
Black is best.
Yeah, Sabian B8 cymbals, the beginner.
That's what's behind that vinyl, actually. Funny
Nice.
enough.
Yeah.
Stay.
So then I...
Yeah. Actually, well, it's a cool cymbal for what it does. It's actually really good for jazz. It's got a really nice wash.
Oh, okay.
It's a super heavy cymbal, but it's really, really bright, so it's really good for jazz stuff.
Yeah, I don't know anything about cymbals.
Yeah, the funny thing about cymbals is, like, cheap cymbals sound like cheap cymbals, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes,
Depending on what you're going for.
yeah, a sound is a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a really cheap cymbal dropped on my toe recently, and it felt like an expensive cymbal was dropped on my toe.
We were at Goodwill, and I was like, oh my god, look at this cymbal. And then I was like, oh my god, look at this other cymbal. And then the first cymbal, like...
Right on my toe. The sharp
It
end.
was a big, 22-inch ride, too.
Right on my toe.
Super
Nice.
thick.
Felt like a really heavy,
Did you cry?
like nice.
Was there like
cymbal.
a tear?
Felt like it was name brand pain,
Are you-
but it was definitely
are
a
you
cheap
being
knockoff cymbal. Yeah.
I'm petting her too much, so she's getting bitey.
Aw.
She's like, no, I want to lay on you, but don't pet me.
Aw.
See? Bitey. Wow. So, what do you want to do with it?
With the band?
Everybody has like that dream.
Yeah, we
Like
want
you tour a shit ton, but I know that you are like not rich. But what do you want to do? I mean, ultimately, what's your dream?
to pay our bills playing original tunes.
And how close are you to that right now? Because, like you said, you go back home and have jobs and stuff like that. But when you're on the road, do you do okay? I mean...
Yeah, we don't have,
We're paying our bills,
Yeah, we
playing
don't- we
original
don't
music right now, but we don't have
we
a
don't
place
rent,
to live.
we don't have anywhere at home. We paid 3.5 years ago, we paid $1,000 to break our lease, to just do this. But yeah, mainly we rely on merch sales, and we pay for our...
So when you go see Snailmate, buy their fucking merch.
Yeah.
Because we make it all ourselves, so we
With
have to
love.
have a home base in order to screen print.
Yeah.
So we have our parents' garage that we can screen print in, and it's really, thank you, Mom and Dad,
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it without.
But yeah, our goal is to play everywhere. We want to do overseas stuff.
When you're done with this 7-month thing, what's kind of your next game plan over the next year?
We are writing a new full-length album, but we're going to take our time because we released a full-length album last year, and then this year we released an EP. So we're going to write a full-length album, put it on vinyl, go to Japan next year, then we're going to do 3 months of the States, something like that.
We're gonna be in Japan in
Are
May.
you going to go to Europe at some point?
Yes. Next year is Japan, though. and then we want to go to Europe. We want to go to Australia. Want to go everywhere.
Word.
Everywhere.
wanna
Have
keep
you
doing
guys done any touring West Coast?
In the U.S.
Like California?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has the response there, like, where do you feel your best response in the States has been?
I say East Coast, Midwest,
Yeah?
probably.
Midwest.
Midwest. Really anywhere that's not a biker bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. The West Coast is great, but the East Coast, their cities are closer, so that's nice for driving time. California, it's illegal to sleep in your car, so that sucks. But, like, as long as we're not playing at a biker bar, it's pretty good.
Have you had a few experiences?
Maybe.
Maybe. We might have.
Has there ever been anybody that was, like, got aggressive with you or anything like that?
I thought that I was gonna get hit with a beer bottle one time, like while we were playing. I just felt the energy in the room was like
In Amarillo, Texas.
someone's gonna throw a fucking beer bottle at my head, and that's gonna be a bad thing. But that didn't happen. But what did happen was
Amarillo's like Topeka but flat.
yeah.
Yeah.
What ended up happening was I felt the energy in the room, and what ended up happening was the patrons of the bar, the regulars, called the owner of the bar, because they all probably hang out, called the owner of the bar and told him that he needed to make us stop playing. So then the owner called the bouncer, and the bouncer...
was so nice. He was so
sweetheart.
nice.
Bouncer came up and was like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry, you need to stop."
And at that moment, your heart's like...
And then immediately he's like, "Here's $50, please stop playing." And I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
let's get out of here."
And
Yeah.
then this guy came up and he's like, "Who told you to quit?"
Big
And-
buff guy's like, "I'll kick their ass. Who told you to stop playing?"
And we're like the owner, and he's like, "Oh."
Okay.
And then we sold some merch, and we left as fast
A
as
bunch
we
of people
could.
came up and were like, "Hey, I'm so sorry that like our town is full of closed-minded
People who
people
don't appreciate your
Yeah.
music.
So
But then we
this-
play a block down the street at this place called 806 Coffee House, and they let us be loud, and they're awesome, and they support us every time we come into Amarillo, and it's like the best thing ever. Like a block away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
806, get your coffee there if you're driving through Amarillo. Gonna be there by morning.
Fuck
What's your
zombies.
favorite coffee drink when you're on the road?
Black?
We just drink it black, iced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, black coffee.
If I
Iced
find a
coffee.
place, or if we're playing a place that has like hemp milk, I love that because it's like thick. But like for the most part, just black.
Yeah. The most caffeine like ratio that we can get. So like an iced coffee or a cold brew, like the straight caffeine, cold, so we can drink it quickly. So we can just pack our body with coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as possible.
Cool.
Yeah.
We bought an espresso maker when we were in Minnesota, and I make an espresso, or I make like a latte with like every morning of my life now.
And I saw you got the French
I
press
also,
going.
I also made my own chai tea mixture, so I can make chai tea lattes, and they're amazing. The powder that I made is better than anything I've ever bought in a store.
Yeah.
So yay me.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
God, I was gonna go and ask you other things.
Come on.
Whenever I interview, my brain like blanks out randomly.
Need to write them on your arm next time.
Give me like I want a good road story, like some crazy shit that's happened to you. The Texas story, that was good.
That was
a
good. Yeah.
That
What
was
is like
that
what
was
is
like
like
2
the
years ago.
coolest thing that's ever happened while you're on the road, where you're like, oh man, this.
Well,
was great."
recently, on this tour, we were in Cincinnati, playing this really cool brewery,
Urban Artifact.
Urban Artifact. Awesome place.
They have pickle beer.
They have amazing place. But we're playing up on stage, and this woman, this really cool lady, who has seen us, she's from Denver, Colorado, and she saw us play at a bar, Tennyson Tap in Denver, and loved us and bought our shirts and has been telling all her friends about us for the last year. She is visiting family in Cincinnati, hanging out with a chum or a boyfriend or whoever, and getting away from the family, walking down the street, going to bar hopping, walks into the brewery that we're playing. Randomly.
No idea we're there.
Sees us on stage and begins weeping.
Oh, that's awesome!
From joy, and then we get off stage and she comes up and she's crying and she's like, I love you guys. I tell everyone about you.
That's
and
so
I walked
awesome.
into this bar and you're playing. And
that makes me so happy.
it was the coolest thing. And
That's awesome.
Like, and then
She just
caught
kept
her
crying.
later at the
And
bar,
I
like,
understand.
crying.
It's weird, you know, we've been hanging out since last night, you know, it's weird. Like I was telling you guys earlier, like when you see you guys for the first time, you're like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like I told you, like we all were sitting at a table last time, the first time we saw you guys when we played with you, and we were like at the table having a conversation like, do we like this? You know, like, because the first song, we're like, I don't know what's happening right now, but then you're like, no, actually, this is awesome. You know? Like, I understand, because you're so, like, I've never heard anything like what you guys do, ever. I can't compare you to anything,
Thank you.
and I think that's really awesome. But there's people from, like, different walks of music that I think could, like, listen to you guys and enjoy it, like really dig it, you know. And that actually leads me to another sort of related question, which is your material is insane. How do you write those lyrics? Where do you come up with those ideas? You like drop acid and like go to the desert
Right.
with a naked native.
A lot of people offer me drugs, and a lot of people come up to me and they're like, dude, like, I get it. And I can't, I haven't done drugs in a while.
Once someone handed him acid after a show, and he was sweaty, and he's like,
Yeah, they put acid on my hand and like, take this. And I was like, no. And I'm like, but thank you. And I was like, I will later. I always tell people, I'll take this later. Thank you. And then I give it away because we're on the road. We can't do drugs because we have a show the next night. And the next night we have to drive 8 hours in between each show. I can't be tripping on acid. Save it for your friends. But
it's a very nice gesture.
people
though.
think that they hear it.
Kaylin appreciates your acid, but do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like.
You gotta drive.
Yeah, exactly. I can't be fucked up. But people think that I'm like a huge like drug user because they hear it, but it's more of like my
For
own.
what it's worth, I've never assumed that.
You just asked if I take acid out in the desert to write. But no, it's like I guess I write from my own personal like neuroses and like especially lately, like the last album, it's about like anxiety and like the weird like feelings I get about just dealing with stuff. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have multiple personalities or what. Ariel will say that I do.
For sure.
That makes sense to me because, like I was saying to you, when you guys start playing, you turn into a different person. I really do. It's really interesting. I can definitely see that. What do you think you're doing, Kitty?
Hope you didn't pause the recording.
Uh-oh.
That's why we have post editing. Nope, still
Okay,
going.
good. Nice try, Cat.
This is also still going. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and my writing, it's not it takes a while for me to write a song. It's not a spontaneous like.
Do you write it all on the road?
No, it's hard to write on the road.
Just because you don't have any time. And
right, and I
Yeah, I write like my drum ideas and stuff in my head, so when we get home I have a bunch of drum beats.
Do you
and
ever?
stuff.
I use the voice memo thing on my phone.
I do
all the
that
time.
too, and then I have a bunch of like things, and then what I realize is I rarely go back and look at those. So like, I'll go through and say, oh, those were all great ideas that I never used from years ago. But it's a very drawn out piecemeal process. I have to like force myself to write, and then once I start forcing myself to write, it comes very naturally. But if I am left up to my own devices, I won't write.
Well, it's weird that we have different songs. Some have taken like 6 months or whatever to write and finish, and other songs I'll go out like partying one night when we're home in Phoenix, and I'll come back the next morning and he'll be like, "Oh, I wrote this whole song, like the whole thing, in like GarageBand or whatever." And like the drum, he's like, "Here's the drum part, but I can change it or whatever." But like the whole thing's written, so it's like one or the other.
Right.
That's
So,
happened a few times.
I was telling you earlier that I love The Waiter.
Oh yeah.
How did you come up with that?
I don't remember. That song is 10 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Way older
8 or
than
9
that.
years old. And my old band had a version of it. I made a beat and I rapped to that. And
Part of the reason I love it is because it kind of makes me laugh. Like, it's I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but to me it's like a comedic song, sort of. It's kind of like
It is, and there's a lot of like innuendo in it. It's about like it's fairly juvenile when I wrote it because I was younger, but it's a lot of sexual innuendo and about like the concept of like time and like the passage of time being like a sexual experience, and so there's a lot of weird innuendo that I tried to like put into it, and I really want to update it because I've learned at this point that we're not going to be able to get away with cutting it out of our set. People always want to hear it, so I want to.
We're gonna remix it when we get home.
We're gonna kind of remix it, make it more fun to play. Ariel hates playing it; it's boring for her.
So we're gonna make it into like a dance song.
So I might change some of the lyrics.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the other part of our plan when we get home is write a whole new album that's brand new, and then we're gonna remix that. The Waiter.
interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for it.
Ariel hates playing that
I'm
song.
gonna make the drum beat a lot more.
Have you learned anything about gear on this tour that you want to change for when you go out again?
I need new stands. They're all broken. They're all stuck at like whatever height they're at and stuff like that.
I need a new stand also.
I just really need new cymbals, just because they're getting old and cracked.
How come you decide to play without bottom heads? You just like the sound
I
better,
love
or?
the sound. I don't like ring. I don't like reverb. I want everything I do to happen for a reason and be done when I'm done giving that reason. And even with the front head, I have the front head on my kick drum really because I like how it feels on the back head with the airflow.
Yep.
But the other ones, my toms, I love concert style, mainly for that reason because I want it to have the purpose when I hit.
Yeah.
That's it. At least for this band. I've been in other bands where I like a little ring or undertone or whatever, but for this I want everything just done. Yeah. Yeah.
And you?
I've learned
that you should buy more expensive keyboards that don't break.
Right, well but I mean, if things aren't going to break on the road, like, don't go in the washer, kitty. Things are gonna break regardless, so if they
She probably will.
do break, at least it's something cheap that I can replace. Like, if my one synthesizer breaks, I can go to Guitar Center and buy a new one, if all else fails.
Is there like anything that you wish you had? Any tactile things you wish you had that you don't have?
Yeah, like a third arm, for sure. Definitely.
I wish I could keep in-ears in my ears, so I don't have to carry a monitor around. We travel with his amp. He has a sub and then like a PA
Have
head.
you tried in-ears that didn't work?
Yeah, I've tried in-ears, but with all the headbanging I do, they can't even stand for one song.
Unless you
So
don't
I
like
bring
it.
a monitor.
Have you done the custom molded stuff at all?
I've just tried like the cheaper ones. Budget.
Would you? This is kind of a random thing that I should really just ask you. Would you pay would you have like $300 to spend on really good molded in-ears?
When we get home and stuff, and I'm saving up money, I would, but I just
But you
don't.
want new stands first.
And a new stand bag.
Yeah.
But I just don't know, even if they're molded, with all the movement I do, I don't believe they would stand.
Yeah.
I just don't buy it.
And I don't know. I feel like
I'm going to show you some stuff after we're done because I've been looking into in-ears. And
Like
I don't
it-
headbang, but
I
I'm
feel like
looking
it
into
takes, like, we're so connected on stage that I feel like there's so much noise happening. I feel like having something on, like, performing with headphones or something, like, or in-ears, like, I feel like it takes, to a different
Well, I just want it one
place.
ear because I have anxiety about hearing, and if I can't hear, then the whole show I'm just like stressed, and I'm like, I just want this to be over. I can't hear. So if I have it in one ear where I can hear, and the other ear earplug, and then I can hear what's going on, that's what I like. And I've tried that before, but then I'm like taping like packing tape around my head before playing, and then I'm like drumming with packing tape all over me. So like,
So that's why we tour with like 2 speakers.
yeah, I
and
have my own monitor I
subwoofer,
bring everywhere.
not only to keep our stage sound consistent and it be loud and have enough low end, but also so we can hear on stage. It's
Yeah.
really
What
nice.
is like the best venue, the best sound you can remember having? Like,
Lefties.
Yeah,
Lefties in Des Moines.
Lefties in Des Moines is always really good. The sound
Brad.
guy there, Brad, he's a sweetheart.
He went to school in Phoenix for sound, but he lives in Des Moines. But Lefties, it's like, it's really good.
And he just cares.
Yeah.
He gives a shit about the music he's mixing, and like then he'll mess with the lights once he's got the sound dialed in, and he just cares about the experience.
He'll match our stops and stuff on the lights, and he's only seen us, I think we played there like 4 times or something. But even the first time we played there, he would just pick up on what we were doing and like match. Which that means a lot to me too. Like when our set we carry lights with us too, and when our set starts, the lights turn on. When our set's over, the lights turn off, like on beat. And then if the sound guy's not paying attention, like last night there were strobes after we were done, and like I want it to go black.
yeah.
So like we try and do stuff like that. But yeah, Lefties, I think is the best. Right?
Yeah. There's been some good ones.
There's
Just
a lot of
bad
good. There's a
ones.
lot of good ones, a lot of bad, a lot of okay. Like I never have complaints when we play like a house show or anything. I feel like the sound in a basement or like in a small coffee shop or something is
Kinda
always
is what it
good.
is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always you're always comfortable enough to hear everything.
Yeah, as long as the vocals are loud enough to go over the drums, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna match it with my keyboards and my amps. So as long as the vocals can be loud enough with the equipment, we're happy with the sound.
Yeah. And no reverb.
Fuck reverb.
Yes. Great. Well, is there anything else that people should know? What is do you know off the top of your head the next couple shows? Okay, so the other thing, sorry.
The future.
Well, I was just going to say, it's probably going to be like a week before this even goes on the internet, so it's hard to say. But
Yeah.
Check out, go to our website, snailmate.com. It has all our tour dates on there. Our Spotify also has all our tour dates on there. But if you go to our website, we are featured in a brand new mobile game. It's free to download. You can play as us as a character. We got to do all the vocal work for like any jumping sound effects or like dying
Yes.
sound effects.
did you get to scream?
Yeah.
We get chopped up by saw blades and it's Ariel going, "Ah!" But
Yeah.
better because it's Ariel. Yeah, you can play as us. Our music's in it. You can run and jump. It's a fun game to play, like while you're pooping or something. It's free. It's really cool. We're so excited about it. Our friend Justin, we were playing in St. Louis and he randomly walked into the bar. Louisville. We were playing in Louisville and he randomly walked into the bar, heard us, loved our music. He's like, "You want to be in this game I'm working on?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure. Here's some music. That sounds awesome."
Not getting your hopes.
Yeah, we have tons of people say like, "We want you to do this," and then you never hear from him again. But then a week later, he's like,
"Here,
check out this game. Like, there's a snail in it. And your music's in it." And it's like, cool. And then he made this character of us like as a conjoined person, and
It looks like us.
and we got to record the voices and stuff. And
I've seen this, but I haven't checked it out.
It's
partially
called-
because I never play games on my phone.
Totally.
Same here,
But I'm gonna have to.
It's called Pogo Gun Pogo, and it's by Studio Paredola and Paredolia, something like that. But it's on our website, snailmate.com. You can download it. It's
Tour
super
dates
fun.
are on there.
Tour
If
dates
you're
are on
ever
there.
broke and you want to come to our show, just hit us up. We'll guest you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word.
Check us out on Spotify.
And everywhere we play is a safe space, and if it's not, we're not playing there. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word. Is there anything else that you feel like needs to be part of this interview before it's over?
If you're in a band and you want to do it, whatever that means to you, just do it. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let your parents stop you. Don't let your friends tell you you're not good enough. If you're new at music, just keep playing.
Because eventually you'll get fucking awesome at playing synth keyboards like this guy did.
Put down
when
your
he
video
didn't know
games.
anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or learn coding if you want to sit in front of a computer, because then you'll probably make really good money when you do it.
Quit your job or find a job that allows you to do what you love. Stop making excuses as to, oh, well, we'll be ready to tour in a few years.
Unless you have kids, then raise your kids.
Yeah, raise your kids.
Yeah.
That's a good excuse. That's the only good excuse. Raise your kids.
Or go on tour in smaller pieces.
Yeah.
So you can raise kids and go on tour.
Teach your kids to play music.
And then put them in your band.
Yes.
I played music with my dad's band, so
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't give up.
Teach your cats to play the drums, is what I'm saying.
yeah. Come on, Summer. You spend all this time down here. Why don't you learn how to play drums?
Yeah.
She's actually terrified of the drums, and if I even hit one thing, she runs to the opposite side of the basement.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, so final things from us. I'm sorry that we have shit out on doing episodes for you people. I try to schedule people to come, and they either don't get back to me or they don't show up, and that makes it very difficult to have a show.
Jerks.
So that's a thing. I know that there are other bands in Topeka. There's been some groups we thought were going to come on who decided to ghost us, and we unliked their page. So
Jerks!
You guys can kiss our ass. Yeah, so we'll do more of the... If you guys send me a message on Noise from Ryan's Basement, I will probably answer you within 3 minutes to tell you whether or not we can do it.
What else do you have to do?
Exactly.
You bum? You don't like free promotion?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah. So...
Tops. Even
That's
if
all
he's
I got.
sleeping. 3 minutes.
Seriously, you get to come in here, have a charming conversation,
Pet a cat.
pet a cat,
Yeah.
play music.
I will make you coffee, you know.
French press!
For every groupie that I made insane and to be stacker every pussy down so I'm spraying. It was a figment to begin with. Part of all of when your perspective is doing mixed twist. Burned out and pissed in my own invention. Converted every residence I visit to a pig pen. Give me the definition of an instant, for instance.